Good morning. Really good to be back. I'm Nicky Campbell. Welcome to a new series of The Big Questions. Today we're live from London. Welcome everyone to The Big Questions. On Wednesday, two Islamic extremists strode into the office of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo and shot dead 12 people and injured 11 more. Shouting, "We have avenged the Prophet Muhammad." The attack appeared to be punishment for the journalist and cartoonist who'd lampooned Islam repeatedly over many years. Another policewoman and 4 people taken hostage on Friday at a kosher supermarket also lost their lives to a third Islamist terrorist before police and special forces shot them dead. Now, this sent shockwaves across the world, shockwaves of horror, shockwaves of fear. Individuals and organizations across the world rallied under the banner, "Je suis Charlie." But no major news outlets were prepared to adopt "I'm Spartacus" tactics by actually showing the cartoons that the attackers had found so offensive. The fear of reprisals seemed to outweigh wholehearted commitment to freedom of expression. Does freedom of speech give the right to offend? Douglas Murray from The Spectator, if you'd been a newspaper editor, would you have done this? Would you do this? Because surely it would be reckless, and you would be putting, as Stephen Pollard said this week, you would be putting the lives of your staff at huge risk.
Well, first of all, we have to remember what's going on here. This is an attempt, a very clear, very blunt...
Oh my gosh, this is really sad. I mean, what is going on? This is really, really sad. And this was 9 years ago. Oh my goodness. Hey Veracity, welcome back to the channel. It's a girl VeraMoore, and I'm back with another reaction video. This is another one from Douglas Murray. And this video is from Erin Jackson's score. And we have Douglas Murray joins Big Question debate. Let's go on, guys.
The attempt to impose Islamic blasphemy law in France and across Europe. And it has to be stopped. That's why these men did it. That's why the journalists of Charlie Hebdo are dead. An attempt to impose Islamic blasphemy law in Paris. The problem is that unless you have an "I am Spartacus," as you say, tactic on it, it's not worth any one individual or any one, well, let's put it this way, no one publication doing it, because, you know, after the Danish cartoons affair, Charlie Hebdo was the only paper in the world, really, that continued to say it is our right as secular French citizens to draw, lampoon, laugh at, write about whatever we want. We're free people in a free society. They were the only ones who held on to that, and obviously on Wednesday morning we know what happened as a result. So any one publication would, I think, undoubtedly put its staff at considerable risk. That's why I've suggested this week, repeated what Ayaan Hirsi Ali said after the Danish cartoons affair. We have to spread the risk around. The free press in the free world has to spread the risk around. Our freedoms hang on this. It cannot be left to a single individual or a single publication, a single satirical magazine, to hold the line for all of our freedoms.
Raza Nadim, I come to you because you are scowling.
Yeah, because I disagree with everything he said so far. Because
everything?
Yeah, most of what he said, because I stopped listening after a while because it just didn't make sense. When he talks about we should, you know, the news, Charlie Hebdo published whatever they wanted, that's rubbish. They were overtly racist towards Muslims. They were always lampooning Arabs and being overtly racist in most of their publications, and it smacks of hypocrisy because they were prepared, in the name of freedom of speech, to sack a journalist who wrote a column that they considered to be anti-Semitic. So how come there's a line there, but when it comes to Muslims, it doesn't matter, take it on the chin. Why are we treated differently from others?
Could I just answer that?
He was charged with a hate crime as well.
Sorry, it's really rich. There are 12 people dead.
Oh, please, no, don't try to use their deaths. No. Just don't. Please, don't try, because I just give you an example where they did... No, let me finish my point.
Right.
The clear example where they don't care for freedom of speech.
Okay, on that example,
Douglas,
Douglas will address that example. If he doesn't, we'll make him. And then I'll come back to you and ask you another question.
A dozen people were killed, and they're now being smeared as racists, like this gentleman here. And I think that's intolerable.
No, I did not.
He clearly knows nothing about Charlie Hebdo.
I just gave you an example.
Nothing about France, nothing about French traditions of free speech. Charlie Hebdo is a left-wing, anti-racist publication. it has lampooned and does lampoon everybody. In recent years, it has taken particular delight in lampooning. Most of the attacks on Charlie Hebdo, the non-physical attacks, have been from the Catholic Church, repeated attempts to criminalise Charlie Hebdo for what it says about the Pope. Marine Le Pen, the far right-wing leader, is one of the main targets of their satire. You don't understand anything.
I just gave you an example.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and then thereafter we're going to spread the love, okay? As it were. Raza, I mean, Douglas touches on this. France has a long, some would say fantastic, certainly very proud tradition of vulgar and rude and anti-religious cartoons. Isn't it a cultural imposition for a minority to seek to change that?
Muslims
Answer that question.
In France, in 2006, a rapper was prosecuted for saying, "I want to urinate on Napoleon." So where's this, in believing in a person, we can offend whoever we want? It's rubbish. Muslims are being asked to believe in freedom of speech more than others are, because in France they're prepared to prosecute an individual on that basis. They've banned comedians that they consider to be anti-Semitic. Now I'm saying it's right, if someone's being anti-Semitic, stop them. But when we're saying someone is being Islamophobic and anti-Muslim, we're saying, well, take it on the chin. Why are we treated differently?
If it's unacceptable, as many people feel it is, many people find it deeply offensive to see cartoons of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. Is there any way in which it is acceptable to poke fun at Islam?
If you want to poke fun, no.
So now they're saying Douglas Moore is Islamophobic. What? Okay.
No one really cares, but the thing is, this isn't about poking fun.
We're not talking about cartoons. Is there any way?
Well, no, hang on, no, this wasn't about poking fun. This case is being painted as a freedom of speech issue, and it's clearly linked to the war on terror. If you look at the cartoon, the killers, what they say, we're part of Al-Qaeda. It wasn't a cartoon that riled them up. It was foreign policy and the war on terror. Why do you?
Let me take it to Majid Nawaz. Majid, of course, you tweeted one of the Jesus and Mo cartoons. Most people would say it was relatively innocuous. It was a divine figure saying hello to a prophet, and a prophet saying hello back again, basically. One of the other cartoons was slightly more...
Slightly less innocuous.
Yeah, less innocuous. That's the word, that's the phrase I'm looking for. You had death threats. Answer Raza Nadim's point.
Well, first of all, I just want to make it clear that not all Muslims define offence in the same way. Not all Muslims take offence at the same things in the same way. Muslims are not homogenous, and I don't claim to speak on behalf of Muslims, but I think likewise, nor should anybody else. So when somebody comes on this show and says, well, Muslims find that offensive, I think what they really mean is, I find that offensive because I'm very insecure in my own belief about God. The second point I'd like to make is that there is no right, yes, there is a right to be offended. There certainly is no right to tell others or insist that others do not offend you. They are two very different things. Everyone is free to take offence at anything. I mean, people take offence at my dress sense. But what they cannot do is insist that I dress in a way that doesn't offend them. They are two very different things, and that's important when discussing cartoons. The second thing to distinguish is that every idea is open to scrutiny. No idea, whether it's a philosophy or a religion, is immune, or can be, or should be immune from scrutiny. That's different from hate speech.
But would there not have been a very different attitude? I'll come to a second across that down. Would there not have been a very different attitude to...
God bless this man. God bless you. Where have you been? I need to know who this man is. Come on. You don't tell people the way to dress. You don't tell me how to dress that will please you. I dress for myself, not for you. So as a Muslim, you don't tell me, oh, don't dress this way. Don't do that. Don't do this. Come on. God bless this man. Oh my gosh.
For example, as there was anti-Semitic cartoons.
Well,
What's the difference?
That's why I'm making that's why I'm drawing this distinction, because first of all, Jews are a race, and anti-Semitism is stigmatizing a people. I've often said no idea is above scrutiny, and no people are beneath dignity. And if these were racist cartoons, then there's a legitimate conversation to be had about racism. The reason that I said I wasn't offended at the cartoon that you've just highlighted, it was a stick figure of a character called Jesus saying hello to a stick figure of a character called Mo. And the character called Mo said, how you doing? The reason I picked that particular cartoon to say I wasn't offended at that is because it left no other option for people that take the view that this gentleman's taken, except to say that's blasphemy. And what I suspect is that the issue at hand is there's a separate debate about racial hate speech. The issue at hand is that many vocal, active, kind of communal, self-identifying, politicized Muslims will take an issue with blasphemy per se, and what they don't want is any depiction of the Prophet in any way.
Dan Hodges, in a minute, but I must come back
that's
to you.
Problematic, and that's
you've
problematic.
qualified freedom of speech.
Was that Jesus and Mo cartoon that he tweeted, was that blasphemy?
I don't think it was blasphemy. But the thing is, it's, again, like you said, people may have different views. But the point is, he's qualified freedom of speech, saying it's all good apart from racism. That's bad. Well, hang on, then you don't believe in absolute freedom of speech, do you? You're saying that it's all relative at the end of the day.
You know,
right? They ban someone. They actually fire someone and charge them with a hate crime. It's ridiculous.
Let's bring in Rose now, chaplain to the Speaker of the House of Commons.
We live in a civilized society, and I think it is important that we safeguard freedom of speech. Of course, freedom of speech from time to time is going to mean that somebody may say something that I'm going to find offensive, but it does not mean that I go out and shoot them. It does not mean that. And I also think that we do need to be responsible in some of the things that we say. However, as I say to my children when they were growing up, you cannot legislate for someone else's behavior or what they say. You can only decide how you are going to respond in that situation.
Which is more important, the humour, getting the laughs, or thinking about the people who are deeply offended by this?
Well, I think those who are doing humour, they're only thinking, I'm going to get a laugh out of this.
Yeah, that's why they fired a journalist.
You know, that's their particular thing.
No, can I come in and say, as a rabbi, I don't like anti-Semitic cartoons, but I defend the right of people to make anti-Jewish or anti-women or other anti-remarks, because not only is it part of freedom of speech, but it also means that nothing is protected from scrutiny, and everything is open to criticism, whether it's rogue rabbis or paedophile priests
Holocaust
or whatever. Pardon?
Holocaust
well, that's a historical difference. I think the real dividing line is you have a right to criticise, but you don't have a right to incite to violence. And when it goes from inspiring laughter to inspiring actual physical actions, that's the dividing line.
Dan Hodges,
freedom of speech, all these different lines.
Dan Hodges, if I may, we're not heard from Dan yet,
Yeah, no,
Rosa, and I'm no doubt we'll hear from you again. Dan Hodges, columnist of The Telegraph. Are we cowed?
Well, to an extent, yes, we are being cowed, and I think this comes to the point of the argument. It is ridiculous to say that we all have an absolute right to say what we like whenever we like it at any time. We don't. We have constraints on free speech, even outside of the religious sphere, which is why we have defamation laws, we have libel laws, things such as that. There are various factors which mitigate how we exercise our free speech. There's no doubt about that. The debate we are having here today is about, should one of those factors be fear? Should one of those factors, it quite clearly is, should one of the factors that influences our free speech be the fear that if we exercise our free speech, someone is going to come in and murder us? Now, you made a point, and I think there is some legitimacy in the point. If you look at the Charlie Hebdo cartoons in the whole, there are a number of their cartoons that I personally would be uncomfortable with, and I've seen the allegations that some of them bordered on racism. Fine. Let's put that to one side, though, for the moment. Let us focus just specifically on a cartoon which focused on a negative, or what was perceived to be a negative image of the Prophet Muhammad. Do you think it is legitimate for a magazine like Charlie Hebdo or any other magazine to produce an image of that kind? Is it legitimate for them to do so?
If you're asking me to believe in freedom of speech more than other people are, then no, because they were prepared to ban someone when they wrote something anti-Semitic.
Yes, but
I'm saying, don't ask me to believe in... you're saying the right to offend, you should believe in that more than everyone else, because Charlie Hebdo smacks of hypocrisy in their own actions.
And I'm removing the hypocrisy. I was being very specific. You have rightly said that there was censorship of people for racism. I accept that people should not be allowed to express
towards Arabs as well.
Exactly, fine. And I'm accepting that. But I'm saying on this specific point, on a cartoon that was not generically racist, a cartoon that just showed a specific image of the Prophet Muhammad, do they have a right to publish that?
Anyone has a right to publish anything if, though, you're going to treat everyone equally. Muslims aren't being treated equally. When Charlie Hebdo, it's very clear. You can't separate the case for me, Dan. It's very clear.
Imagine to us.
Yeah, so you're saying anyone has the right to say, if they did publish a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad that didn't have any racial...
We'll do the same about show black people in a bad light, show Jewish people in a bad light, but you won't, though, right? No, because freedom of speech has limits.
Can I ask the question I was going to ask? If they did depict an image of the Prophet Muhammad that didn't have any racial stereotyping whatsoever, and so therefore it takes away that point. Are you then supportive of that? Would you say yes, that's fine, that's a good and legitimate question to ask? The founder of a religion that's influenced billions of people across the world, it's legitimate to scrutinize any religion, including the Prophet Muhammad and Islam. It's legitimate.
Charlie Hebdo was not in the business of trying to get dialogue going. He was looking to offend.
Okay, Douglas in a second. Douglas in a second. Let's hear the audience. Lady right there with the blue top. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Quick points, please.
The point is, I'm just wondering, I get this idea, we have a Muslim and we have race. Muslim is a faith system, and therefore it's not a race. So we cannot use the word racism when we're talking about a religion, because it is a choice. Yeah. Your race is not a choice, and anything that you can convert to is not a race. So therefore we're looking at two different issues, and we're conflating two different ideas together to try and make a point that doesn't make sense.
Right there at the back. Hello.
I think the issue involved here is...
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So this man talking is definitely a Nigerian, because listening to his accent is the same as my accent. I know so many people have been complaining about my accent, but I'm so sorry. I am Nigerian. This is me. This is who I am. I cannot change my accent. I cannot speak like the white people. You know, like, oh, you know what I say? You know, I don't know how to do that. I grew up in Nigeria. My whole life is Nigeria. So this is me. Please accept me the way I am. Thank you. Okay, so back to Douglas Moore and the Muslims. It is crazy. Listen to this man. See, if this... Okay, they said somebody wants to do a cartoon where Prophet Muhammad wears a t-shirt. Don't try it. Don't do that, because the Muslims will come for you. They would kill you. They would come for you. Don't try it. They don't want to say it either. Don't do it. They will come for you. Even if they are mentioning the Prophet Muhammad, they used to say something, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Like, you cannot just say Prophet Muhammad. When you call his name, you have to call something. Like, the Muslim system is just so rigid. You cannot, you know, they're so principled, they're so strict. There's no freedom, you know, those kind of things. And that is the way they are. I have Muslims as friends, so I have nothing against the Islamic religion. And I love what that woman said. She said, you cannot be racist towards a Muslim, because Islam is not a race. It is a religion. It is a choice. You choose to either be a Muslim or a Christian. It is not a race. Okay, so you can only be racist towards a race, yeah? Okay, so I am black. That is my race. I didn't choose to be black, but I was born black. I was born a Nigerian. I didn't choose to be a Nigerian. If I was given the choice to pick a country, I definitely would not pick Nigeria. Okay, guys, so basically, I love what that woman said. Everything they just said is just, you know, Islam is not a race. It is a religion. So what exactly are we even talking about here? And the whole freedom of speech thing. Why is freedom of speech such a big issue? Why is it such a big issue? Muslims, they don't tolerate nonsense. You post anything about Islam, post anything. You want to go and post about Prophet Muhammad? Don't try it. Don't do that. Don't do that. They are the ones protecting their God. I thought God could fight for himself. Can't God fight for himself? Why is it the humans are the ones killing people that? Let God fight for himself. Don't do that. They take it upon themselves to avenge anybody that defies. Anyways, no hate. I do not hate anybody. Muslims, Christians, whatever religion you are, I love you all. What are your thoughts on this? What do you guys think about this video? Drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, join VeraMoore. Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell, so you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that's, guys, see you in my next one. Bye.